The Book of Jubilees, chapter 8. In the 29th Jubilee, in the first week, in the beginning thereof, Arpachshad took himself a wife, and her name was Resujah, the daughter of Suzann, the daughter of Elam, and she bare him a son in the 3rd year, in this week, and called his name Kenaim. And the son grew, and his father taught him writing, and he went to seek for himself a place where he might seize for himself a city. And he found a writing which former generations have carved on the rock. And he read what was thereon, and he transcribed it, and sinned owing to it. For it contained the teachings of the watchers, in accordance with which they used to observe the omens of the sun and moon and stars, and all the signs of heaven. And he wrote it down, and said nothing regarding it, for he was afraid to speak to Noah about it, lest he should be angry with him on account of it. And in the 13th Jubilee, in the 2nd week, in the 1st year thereof, he took to himself a wife, and her name was Melchah, the daughter of Madai, the son of Japheth. And in the 4th year he begot a son, and called his name Shelah, for he said, Truly I have been sent. And in the 4th year he was born, and Shelah grew up, and took to himself a wife, and her name was Muach, the daughter of Kesid, his father's brother. In the 113th Jubilee, in the 5th week, in the 1st year thereof. And she bare him a son in the 5th year thereof, and he called his name Eber. And he took unto himself a wife, and her name was Azurid, the daughter of Nebrod, in the 32nd Jubilee, in the 7th week, in the 3rd year thereof. And in the 6th year thereof she bare him a son, and he called his name Peleg. For in the days when he was born, the children of Noah began to divide the earth amongst themselves. For this reason he called his name Peleg. And they divided secretly amongst themselves, and told it to Noah. And it came to pass in the beginning of the 33rd Jubilee that they divided the earth into 3 parts, for Shem and Ham and Japheth, according to the inheritance of each. In the 1st year, in the 1st week, when one of us who had been sent was with them. And he called his sons, and they drew nigh to him, they and their children, and he divided the earth into lots, which his 3 sons were to take in possession. And they reached forth their hands, and took the writing out of the bosom of Noah, their father. And there came forth on the writing as Shem's lot, the middle of the earth, which he should take as an inheritance for himself and for his sons for the generations of eternity, from the middle of the mountain range of Rapha, from the mouth of the water, from the river Tina. And his portion goes towards the west through the midst of this river, and it extends till it reaches the water of the abyss, out of which this river goes forth and pours its waters into the sea Miat. And this river flows into the great sea. And all that is towards the north is Japheth's, and all that is towards the south belongs to Shem. And it extends till it reaches Karasho. This is the bosom of the tongue which looks towards the south. And his portion extends along the great sea, and it extends in a straight line till it reaches the west of the tongue which looks towards the south. For this sea is named the tongue of the Egyptian sea. And it turns from here towards the south, towards the mouth of the great sea, on the shore of its waters. And it extends to the west of Aphra, and it extends till it reaches the waters of the river Gihon, and to the south of the waters of Gihon, to the banks of this river. And it extends towards the east till it reaches the Garden of Eden, to the south thereof, to the south, and from the east of the whole land of Eden, and of the whole east. It turns to the east, and proceeds till it reaches the east of the mountain named Rapha. And it descends to the bank of the mouth of the river Tina. This portion came forth by lot for Shem and his sons, that they should possess it forever unto his generations forevermore. And Noah rejoiced that this portion came forth for Shem and for his sons. And he remembered all that he had spoken with his mouth in prophecy, for he had said, Blessed be the most high power of Shem, and may the Most High dwell in the dwelling of Shem. And he knew that the Garden of Eden is the Holy of Holies and the dwelling of the Most High, and Mount Sinai, the center of the desert, and Mount Zion, the center of the navel of the earth. These three were created as holy places facing each other, and he blessed the Most High power of gods, who had put the word of I am into his mouth, and the Most High forevermore. And he knew that a blessed portion and a blessing had come from Shem and his sons unto the generations forever, the whole land of Eden, and the whole land of the Red Sea, and the whole land of the east, and India, and on the Red Sea, and the mountains thereof, and all the land of Bashan, and all the land of Lebanon, and the islands of Kaphtor, and all the mountains of Sinir, and Amana, and the mountains of Ashur in the north, and all the land of Elam, Ashur, and Babel, and Suzan, and Madai, and all the mountains of Ararat, and all the region beyond the sea, which is beyond the mountains of Ashur towards the north, a blessed and spacious land, and all that is in it is very good. And for Ham came forth the second portion beyond Jihan towards the south, to the right of the garden, and it extends towards the south. It extends to all the mountains of fire, and it extends towards the west to the sea of Etel, and it extends towards the west till it reaches the sea of Muak, that sea into which everything which is not destroyed descends. And it goes forth towards the north to the limits of Gadir, and it goes forth towards the coast of the waters of the sea to the waters of the great sea, till it draws near to the river Jihan, and it goes along the river Jihan till it reaches the right of the Garden of Eden. And this is the land which came forth for Ham as the portion which he was to occupy forever for himself and his sons unto their generations forever. And for Japheth came forth the third portion beyond the river Tina to the north of the outflow of its waters. And it extends northeasternly to the whole region of Gog, and to all the country east thereof. And it extends northerly to the north, and it extends to the mountains of Quelt towards the north, and towards the sea of Muak. And it goes forth to the east of Gadir, as far as the region on the waters of the sea. And it extends until it approaches the west of Farah, and it returns towards Aphrag. And it extends easterly to the waters of the sea of Miat, and it extends to the region of the river Tina in a northeasterly direction until it approaches the boundary of its waters towards the mountain Rephah, and it turns round towards the north. This is the land which came forth for Japheth and his sons as the portion of his inheritance, which he should possess for himself and his sons for the generations forever. 5 great islands, in a great land in the north. But it is cold, and the land of Ham is hot, and the land of Shem is neither hot nor cold, but it is blended cold and heat. All praise to the power of the Son of Man, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for that powerful, powerful chapter, which deals with the separation of the portions of land divided by Noah for Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And I love it because Shem basically gets the best portion, you know what I'm saying? Shem gets that middle portion, that portion that's neither hot nor cold, you know what I'm saying? Japheth and Ham, for what they did, they get, you know, the regions that are extremely hot or extremely cold, you know what I'm saying? But Shem, us, you know what I'm saying? The Negroes, the Israelites, our portion is that middle portion, that best portion, y'all. So you need to keep your head up and just know about the promises that are promised to us as long as we keep those laws, statutes, and commandments, you know what I'm saying? From our forefather Shem, all the way down the line, all the way to us, the current Israelites of today. Because how is the Messiah going to bring forth New Jerusalem, you know what I'm saying, without the current Israelites of today? I mean, he's going to need us, like he's going to need physical beings, physical creatures to help him with New Jerusalem. Because you got to understand, y'all, everybody in the Bible had their purpose, had their time, and had their place, you know what I'm saying, in history. King David and all the kings back in the past, Their portion in their history was that period of time. Our period of time is now, y'all. AKA the end times. This is our period. In my opinion, this is the most important period, because this is the period before the coming of the Son of Man, y'all. Like right before the coming of the Son of Man. We're gonna be the ones blessed enough to see that happen, hopefully. I mean, I hope. How everything's going on in the earth right now, I mean, what other generation can there be besides us? You know what I'm saying? Every other generation after us is getting mass shot up. You know what I'm saying? And when I say shot up, y'all know what I'm talking about. That 2020 shot up. You know what I'm saying? And it's required that they get these certain medications. You know, I'm not going to say too much on here because I know how YouTube algorithm is and all that. But, you know, after 2020, the generations after that is required that they get, you know, a certain potion. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think the Most High is going to be able to use them, because according to that potion is going to corrupt their flesh. You know what I'm saying? So I think the only ones that the Most High is going to really be able to use is basically the flesh of people from pre-2020 that still have pure blood. Basically, I mean, the pure bloods. Let's just be real. The Most High is only going to be able to use pure bloods in these last days. So with that being said, keep your blood pure and keep your soul righteous. So with that being said, all praise to the power of the Son of Man, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Father, I am that I am, and for him sending his only begotten Son, the Son of Man, in these last days. And Israel, let's continue to keep our head up and keep faith strong that the Messiah is going to come in our lifetime. We have to keep that faith strong. That's the only way he's going to come, is if the faithful elect are faithful enough to believe in him that he even is going to come. All praise. Shalom.